All right, welcome back to my channel and to my latest video. And today we're going to be covering, it's another Movement Monday, and we're going to be covering the row. So before this, I did the push-up. So I figured I might as well, focus on a horizontal row to help you out. So a lot of these movements I focus on are your like compound kind of bang for your buck. Now, don't get me wrong, it's nice to do isolation work, but it's also really important to do these compound movements, or these like movement patterns, like your push, your pull, your pressing, your squats, your knee dominant and your hip dominant, right? So keep those in mind. So we did push up last week, or at least I believe so from what I remember. This week we're gonna do the row. So the main thing I wanna do is, and actually before we begin, take a moment to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And every month, like I said, I have a contest. So if you want to get 30 days free access to my membership group, comment #99 below, and at the end of the month, I'll select one lucky random winner to take part. So make sure you do that. Leave a comment too if you want to, if there's any exercise you want me to focus on in future videos. So the rowing movement, I'll stand back a little bit more actually, but the rowing movement, or the rowing position we want to start with is, a lot of people when they're doing row, so just pretend, in a lot of situations, you're going to be doing like a bent over row. So let's just pretend, or you can do like a rowing or seated row. So a lot of times what people do is they'll kind of pull or heave back. And I'm kind of exaggerating here right now, but let's just say, for example, a lot of people, they'll do too much weight, drive back, pull through with the lower back, and then come back and squeeze. And we want to avoid that, especially too when we're doing any kind of cable row or dumbbell row, say one arm or single arm or bilateral row. What we want to do is, you want to go through that full range of motion. So you don't need to set the shoulders back and down and be back in this set position. I mean, it's all right if you're going for a max effort bench press, but let's just say we want to go through that full range of motion. So when we're doing the row itself, I'll stand back a little bit more. When we're doing the row, pretend I got a dumbbell in my hand here. So when we're doing the row, what I want to do is I want to come through, when I'm coming through, you want to get a little bit of that extension, right? So you want to protract a little bit. And then when we're pulling back, you want to keep the elbow in line or in that kind of same position. You can do higher variations of row, but let's just say for the more common variation of the row, try to keep the elbow in position in line with the rib cage, and we're pulling back. Now, not pulling back so much so that you're arching your lower back. You're pulling back so you get that squeeze. So you squeeze the shoulder blades together, but at the same time, you're kind of bracing your abdominals, right? So brace the abdominals, pull back, squeeze, and then follow through and get that protraction. And so remember that. So just pretend, like, imagine I'm doing the seated cable row here, right? So keep that in mind. So when we pull back, you're bracing the abdominals, so we're not doing too much arch in the lower back. If you go through, protract, and then when you pull back, retract as well. Still keeping that abdominal bracing, right? So breathe out on the way back. And then when you come through, protract and then retract. So always remember that. But just remember, we're not coming through so far that we need to arch the lower back. Brace the abdominals tight. And then just go through that full range of motion. And at the same time, not too much arching. Just brace and then squeeze and then protract as you come back through, right? And you don't need to go so far that you're coming into full extension. That might be okay for some bodybuilders that are looking for that maximum hypertrophy effect. But let's just say we'll start off with like getting that pretty close or pretty optimal form down when you're doing the row itself. So keep that in mind. I hope this helps. Again, I will show it one more time. So when we come through, we're going to protract and not coming too far. You don't need to go too far. So you can protract slightly. And then when you come back, remember, keep the abdominals tight, brace, and retract and squeeze, right? So we don't need to arch back too much. Just a nice fluid motion, right? Squeeze and then follow through. So keep that in mind. I hope this helps. Like I said, leave a comment, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll talk to you very soon.